The secret to love, but I ain't keeping it. Saying that you love me, but you all you took it. Even in my heart, can't take it. It's breaking away. You can say you love me, but it won't be the same. No, no.
3, 2, 1. In the Sky podcast, and today we have up and coming hip hop artist who goes by Beseler. Introduce yourself a little bit, man.
What's up, guys? I'm Beseler. I'm 16. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm just out here trying to put on for my city. You heard?
Okay. Now, you said that you're from Phoenix. What was your upbringing like?
It was cool. I mean, there was a lot of love. There was a lot of hate, but like growing up, being in school and shit, school was never really for me. So, in 8th grade, I ended up switching over to online and shit. And I've just been kind of doing my thing, making music. But I mean, coming up here, it's cool. Like there's a lot of cool people out here. There's not really a big music scene or anything, but yeah, it's kind of just, you kind of do your own thing. Everyone's just trying to make some money out here.
Yeah, everybody always trying to make some money. When did you start the music thing? Like, how did you get into that?
I recorded my first song like 2 years ago, but I didn't start taking music seriously until about a year ago. Cause like my first songs that I ever recorded they're trash, bro. Like I ended up taking those down, but I only started taking music seriously about like a year ago. That's when I dropped my first song that I was like, okay, this could go somewhere. Got a good amount of plays on it.
What was that song called?
It was called Birthday, but I ended up privating that song because I just sounded so fucking young in that shit, bro. It was not good. It was not good. But yeah, that was my first song that I ever recorded that I took seriously and that I thought could go somewhere. Ended up getting like 100,000 plays, and that's when I was like, damn, because that shit was crazy. My numbers jumped up from like 1,000 plays on a song to 100K.
Hey,
real
shut
quick.
up!
That shit blew my mind.
My bad.
It's all good.
That shit never happens. This motherfucker's out here bugging. But what were you talking about? I'm sorry.
It's all good. So my first song I ever recorded and took seriously was called Birthday. And that song, like, it jumped from 1,000 plays. Like, I was getting 1,000 plays, and then when I dropped that shit, it got like 100K plays, and that shit just blew my mind. I was like, damn, that's when I really started thinking that I could take this shit seriously. And that, you know, I wanted to go somewhere with this. And that's when I first started reaching out to other artists in my city like Sipsky and LXST, shout out to them. And from there, we just been doing our thing going up, so.
That's awesome. Now, how did you end up getting in contact with LXST?
So he went to the same high school as me, but I ended up, switching to online. So, like, I went to Mountain Ridge High School for like 3 weeks because I just wanted to test out high school, see if it was any different. I ended up hating that shit. So I switched over to online, and then one of my homies asked me if I knew who he was, and I didn't know because I was just doing my own thing. I wasn't really listening to any other artists. And he ended up showing me his shit, and then he went and showed LXST my shit, and literally within the next 3 days we were in the studio together cooking some shit up. And the first song we ever recorded, we didn't drop it because he had a bad situation with his manager, and the reason we really started making music together was because I actually told him, I was like, bro, this dude isn't doing anything good for you, because this dude had a really expensive recording studio, but he would not get the sound that Malcolm wanted, or LXST. So I told him, I was just like, yo, you got to come record with me. Like, I didn't have like good equipment or anything, but I was like, I can make you sound better than what he has. And that's how we first started cooking up.
What, so he said fuck the guy in the studio and start recording with you?
Yeah, that's basically how we got cracking.
That's cool. Now, how long have you been working with him?
Shit, probably a little over a year now. Seems like something like that.
And who would you say, like, as far as like rappers, is some of your biggest influences?
Shit. See, that's a tough question because I listen to like all types of music, bro, because I just appreciate music in general. And to shit. See, like, I'm not gonna be like one of those people that say like Tupac or some shit because I didn't grow up listening to that. But biggest rap influences, I would have to say like Lil Skies, uh, who else? Post Malone. I love Post Malone, bro. That's my
That's
favorite
dope.
artist right now. And shit, I don't know. That's it. That's really all I can think of. That's my two favorite rappers right now at the moment. So that's what I would go
Okay.
with.
Okay. Now, you told us kind of why you started taking really seriously because of the song Birthday, but what made you want to start, like, before you start taking it serious? What made you want to have the initial start just to making music?
I've always appreciated music on such a different way than a lot of people do. And it's so crazy to me because I remember like being young in my mom's car listening to music and just getting tingles down my body, bro. Just like I felt like I related to music on a so much different level. And to when I started making music and I started hearing like what I could do, like that shit just it opened me up, bro, and I could write down what I was feeling or what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to achieve all on a piece of paper and just let it out, bro. Because I'm not a big talking person, like when it comes to my feelings and shit. So when I could just put that shit down on paper and release it through a microphone and people would fuck with that, that shit was crazy to me. So it was just dope to be able to do that.
All right. So, you speak of your mom. Are your parents like how supportive are they of your career, your rap career?
Yeah, my mom and dad are really supportive. They're not together because some shit went down with them between them. They ended up splitting up. My dad isn't really in my life as much. I still see him, like I talk to him once in a while, but he still listens to my music. Every time I see him, he makes sure to tell me he supports me and how good he thinks I am. But yeah, my mom is like my number one supporter. It's crazy. She's always telling me to send her my new music and shit so she can show her friends. It's the coolest shit ever. I love my mom, bro. She's day one for sure.
That's dope. It's always good to have your family there to support you and whatnot.
Hell yeah,
Where do
hell
you
yeah.
where do you want to take this music stuff?
Shit, dude. Honestly, see, me myself, I always set goals for myself, but when I reach that goal, I know that I'm gonna want bigger and bigger. But right now, my goal would just to be to get a song to 1 million plays as of right now. Like that's my goal as of right now. But future, I can't speak on that because I know if I hit that goal, I'm gonna want a bigger goal, and it's not gonna stop, dude. I'm trying to show that there's a music influence out here in AZ, and there's a lot of talented artists out here, and a lot of people are slept on, bro. I know so many talented artists out here, and it's just crazy because you don't hear of a lot of rappers out of AZ, and there's
No,
only
you
one
don't.
that's semi big out of AZ, and that's Futuristic. Shout out to him, but yeah, I'm
Hmm.
just trying to put on for the homies, get out there, get big.
Who would you say some of the more slept on AZ rappers are?
LXST, Sipsky, uh, there's a couple other artists out here like Divine Kiali, Fresh Kiali. There's a whole bunch of artists right now. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but shout out to all of them, dude. They're all doing their thing. I'm proud of everyone in AZ that's been taking music seriously. Like shit's crazy. It's wild. Oh yeah, shout out Evan too. Evan's dope. Evan Barnes.
Oh yeah, shout out LXST for real. He, put me on, helped me out a lot. He's a
Yeah,
cool
that's the
guy.
homie. That's the homie for sure.
So, what would you say inspires a lot of your music? Like, what goes into you making your songs?
Honestly, just shit I go through, bro. It's like whatever's on my mind. I can't sit down and just workshop a song like I know some artists do. Like they can just sit down and be like, "Oh, I'm going to the studio." Like I gotta be in the right mindset. What I write down and what I make is what's on my mind, and I feel like that's what a lot of people don't understand, how much work a lot of artists put into their songs. And it's kind of hard to write down like what you're feeling on a piece of paper, because you're opening up what you're feeling to however many people are going to hear that song. And there's been a lot of songs that I've recorded that have been some deep shit in there, bro, that I haven't released just because I'm like, I don't know if I want to put this out there, because me personally, when I make music, it's straight from the heart, bro. There's no other thing going into it except for what I'm feeling. So that's just how it goes sometimes.
What kind of things, like, specifically would you find yourself elaborating more on in your art?
So I like to write about depression, bro, because what the hell, Alexa just went off. But I like to write about depression because that's something that I've went through in my life a lot with shit that I've been through. And I want to let people know that if they're fighting through depression, bro, that they're not the only one going through that. And there's a lot of people in the world that are depressed as fuck that don't like to show their emotions, and that can be painful for a lot of people, bro, because bottling that shit up, that shit just, it eats away at you, bro. That's why I'm always telling people, like my homies and shit, if you got something on your mind, bro, please come talk to me, because I know personally when I was younger and I was going through some shit, I would keep that shit bottled up inside because I didn't know how to talk about it, and it just gets worse, bro, because it never leaves your mind. Like, you don't have anyone to talk with it about, and it slowly eats away at you, bro, and it's crazy.
Yeah, bro, with me personally, and I know I've elaborated on this a lot, like, throughout my episodes whenever the subject comes up, but to me personally, it feels like I'm in a dark box when I'm feeling down. Like I don't have any peripherals. Like, I can only see forward, and I just want to fucking like, sleep and shit. Like, that shit, it ain't no good. It's real too. A lot of music that I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of music that, goes into that, because music is one thing that can bring out emotions, and you could be feeling really, happy and good, and then have a song that's depressing on your playlist, and then that ruins your whole fucking day in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I always try. That's why I always try in my songs, no matter what I record, whatever I write down. I always want to add some positive shit in there, just like, even if it's a little bit of positivity, just so it's like almost like the light at the end of the tunnel, if that makes sense. Because I don't want people to listen to my music and for the rest of the day be like, oh fuck, now I'm sad. Like, I want them to be able to replay that shit and almost be like, he's going through the same shit I am. Like, I've been here before. I'm just trying to relate to people, bro. And I know a lot of people go through what I go through, and it helps a lot of people to know that they're not fighting alone, bro.
That's good. That's definitely a positive. Like, I'm glad that you're using your art and, just your plays that you've been getting for more of a positive thing for the youth. And that's what not a lot of people do. A lot of people will go talk about in their music, talk about drugs, talk about this, talk about that. I mean, that's all right sometimes, but like, it's really, like we were talking about in the DMs, like, that shit is toxic for the youth. Like, that's why everybody in our age group from, 14 to 23, a lot of people want to be overnight successes. A lot of people don't believe in hard work. A lot of people think that everything's in the world, and it's not. You just got to keep on going. Like,
facts.
A lot of people give up, man.
Yeah, that's what was crazy to me too, because when I first started, I was on that wave too, but I was talking about smoking and drinking in every song, and like, I still talk about it sometimes, because whether you like it or not, sometimes when people get down, bro, that's what they go to. And I know personally, sometimes when I get down, I'll hit up the homies and I'm like, bro, like, I'm not feeling it today. You trying to smoke or something? Like, and all my homies, bro, they're the shit, because if I ever hit them up and I'm in one of those moods, no matter what they're doing, bro, they drop it and they'll come scoop, and we'll hang out, and they'll get my mind off shit. But yeah, when I was first starting, I used to rap about that shit, partying and shit and all that. And I remember I had to talk with one of my homies, and he was just telling me the same thing. He's like, I don't know if that's the message you want to give off. And when I first started, I was like, man, whatever, like, fuck that. Like, I'm going to do what I want to do. But then, like, I want to say I matured, because something in me was like, dude, that's not right. You need to go a different way about this shit. And you need to rap about what's real to you, not what's industry and what's getting put on. So that's why I make the music I do right now.
mark my words, in 5 years, 5 years, bro, the whole shit's gonna change. Like, all these younger kids, you know, fucking middle schoolers or shit that like to hear about that shit are gonna grow up and realize that shit is just fucking stupid and not good for them. And the whole rap scene is gonna flip flop because all that shit that was making everybody blow up and all that shit, you know, partying, drugs, which I don't have a like problem with it, but it's not good to promote that to kids. And all that shit that people talk about now, those kids that like that are gonna grow up and they're gonna want some real shit, some real appealing to their emotions, just like what you were doing, what a lot of people are doing, and I can already see it now changing. I think that's crazy.
And that's what's so funny. And I understand where a lot of these rappers are coming from, because most of the rap audience, bro, is for those kids that are younger and are going through like middle school and shit, because that's the biggest hip hop audience, is the younger kids.
Yeah.
So they're obviously going to keep making what makes them money, but that's what makes me different from a lot of artists, bro. I make music to make music. I make music because that's what I love to do. I could care less about the money. I could care less about the fame. Like, me personally, if I really cared about the money, if I really cared about the clout, I would not still be making music right now, because I've been making music for almost 2 years, and there's been times where I feel like I'm not going anywhere, but to me it's like, fuck it, I got to keep pushing, because I like, people love my music, bro. People support me, and that shit is crazy to me, that people will take time out of the day to listen to something I made, or comment on one of my pictures, or send me a DM telling me how much my music helps them and shit. And it's just crazy to me. Like, that's why I keep pushing, is because of all of my supporters and people showing me love. That shit helps a lot.
Yeah, for real. Like, I'm glad that, you know, people are reaching out to you and letting you know that you're doing good, like, and that they help you. Like, that's really fucking awesome. Like, sometimes people will DM me, but I really like, or it's just like, especially with LXST, because he's got a fucking, probably one of the craziest fan bases that has been featured on my shit.
His fan base is strong as fuck.
I literally had like 3 or 4 people, like, on no bullshit at all, saying like, you know, I know him, or I've been a big fan, and that what you asked him, I would have never thought to ask him. And I'm glad that those things were elaborated within the interview. So
yeah, for sure, bro. Because I listened to that podcast too, and it was how long was it? It was almost 30 minutes, right?
I'm pretty sure it was like 35 minutes in the recording, and then I clipped out little bitty things and whatnot. So yeah, I think it was pushing 30 minutes, but yeah.
Yeah, it was, dude, because that was one of the first podcasts I have ever like sat down and listened through, just because I know him personally, and he was not capping on anything he was saying, bro, because I know a lot of people will sit down on a podcast and they'll just lie to make themselves look good to the public, but that's not him, bro, and he's genuine, bro, and that's why I fuck with him. That's why I'll work with him, because he's like me, bro. He doesn't care about someone's following when it comes to music. He doesn't care about any of that shit. When he found me, bro, I had like 1,000 followers on Instagram, and he was the one that helped me expand my fan base and helped me reach out and just start gaining and getting numbers, and that's why I've always fucked with him, bro. And there's a lot of people that talk down on him too, and it's so disrespectful, because he's done nothing but help people. And just, he shows love to everyone, bro. And he's so genuine. And that's why that's my homie, bro. Like, I'd take a bullet for him, no cap.
Yeah, he's a hella good guy and real genuine. But fuck those people that are talking down upon him. But earlier in this interview, you mentioned something about having haters, like, from your side. Can you speak on that any?
I mean, haters as in, like, because haters to me,
not
they
just
don't really
internet
mean
trolls, not just internet trolls.
Yeah, like, internet trolls. Because like, haters, they don't really mean shit to me, bro. Because in reality, your haters are your biggest fans, bro. Because they'll take time out of their day to say something negative on you, bro. Like, that shit is just the funniest shit to me. Like, you could be doing something important with the 2 minutes you take to type my ass a fucking paragraph telling me how much you hate me. Like, that shit is just so funny. And you know, on my part, like, I handle it well, but like, I'm a troll too, so sometimes I like to respond to them and fuck with them, just cause like, that's just me. If you know me, like, I'm funny. I like fucking with people, but Yeah, dude. You just to anyone that's making music coming up and you're experiencing hate, don't let that shit get to you, bro. Because like I said, in reality, your haters are your biggest fans, and at the end of the day, anyone that's hating, they're only hating because it's different. And the people that are hating are gonna be front row at your show. So you just gotta fight through that shit and get what you gotta do.
Back to like your hate. What kind of things do you find people saying to you often besides like the basic, oh, I don't like this song or whatever?
A lot of people, they'll tell me that I'm just like another artist clone or some shit like that. But it's just so funny because people will say that you're an artist like clone or something like that, but you sound nothing like that artist. And it's funny because people will say you're a clone if you have like one tendency that another artist have, but people don't realize that music is just a circle, bro. People are constantly sampling old songs or bringing up lines from other songs and just using it as a reference, bro. And it's just like to find something that's brand new that you have never heard today, it's almost impossible because music has been around for so long, bro, that every flow, every beat, every fucking cadence or whatever has been used at one point. So there's
Hmm.
nothing that's completely original, and that's just like to say that another artist is a clone. It's so disrespectful to artists, bro, because you don't know how hard artists work on this song. And I mean, the only time I would ever say like another artist is a clone if they're ripping off a song word for word, bro. Because or like if they got like a whole verse that's like taken. That's the only time I would ever say that another artist is a clone.
That's fucked up that people actually go out and say that. I mean, I understand if like someone just straight up bites a flow. I mean, that's the other
Yeah,
thing too, like biting flows, biting lyrics, like because
yeah.
I see a lot of lyrics in hip hop be used over and over again by the same
Multiple
artist.
times.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's whatever. People still buy it. I still enjoy most of it, so fuck it.
Yeah, yeah.
What would you say your recording process is? What are some of the things that kind of get you in the mood to write a song or produce a track or whatever you do?
So the first thing I have to do is find a fire beat from a producer that like usually emails or something, and then after I find the beat, I got like a bunch of LED lights in my room, so I have to make sure it's completely dark with just the LED lights before I start writing or anything because how it works, bro, when you need to get into that mentality of all right, I'm about to make a song, you have to be as comfortable as possible because uh, one little thing, one little like weird feeling, it could throw you off, make you forget some shit. And that's still one of the problems even I have recording is I don't like to have a bunch of people in the studio because it just throws off my thought process because I swear I have ADD because I can't focus if there's a bunch of shit going on. And that's why like I can record with LXST because he knows me. He knows how I work. He knows like if I'm writing, don't interfere, keep quiet type shit. And I'm the same way with him. I let him do his shit. You know, he just tells me like, yo, I want this sound, I want this, and I get it done. I let him record again. So it's just like if you're gonna record, you got to make sure that you're as comfortable as possible, and that there's no distractions around you. I know, I know a couple artists that say like they'll light a candle or something because, and it's the same candle that they grew up with, like what their house smelling like, because it just made them feel at home and feel comfortable. And that's what you have to do sometimes, bro. You just got to make sure you're as comfortable as possible.
That candle thing's actually pretty interesting because back when I was going through high school, a lot of teachers would say, chew a brain of gum while you're studying and then put another piece of that gum, that same flavor of gum in while you take the test and something like that, some bullshit like that.
Yeah,
Just it's just memory. But
yeah, it helps. It really does. It's crazy how the human mind works, bro. And that's real shit.
yeah, it's like I feel like a lot of shit is explained through science, but there's so much shit that cannot be explained at all through like it's just some spiritual type shit. Like I don't even know how to, you know what I mean? Like I don't even know
Yeah,
how
I
to
know
explain it.
exactly what you mean, bro.
Like sometimes I'll give an I won't elaborate on it anymore. But are there any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody?
Shit. I wanna give a shout out to AZ in general, bro. All the artists in AZ doing their thing. Shout out my mom for always supporting. Shout out my dad. shout out all the homies, shout out everyone playing my shit, shout out everyone liking my shit. And yeah, that's about it, bro. We doing our thing. Hopefully AZ blows up soon.
Thank you for listening to the In the Sky podcast. Thank you, Beseler, for coming on, man. It's awesome talking to you, seriously.
Of course, of course.